So we're about to show you our recipe for roll-up. Now I've poked fun at my mom on the blog before because her recipes are kind of all over the place, and it's about this, it's about 3/4 of a cup, and I was trying to get her to a more specific area. So here we sit with the finished product, the roll-up, which actually I found out through talking this process through with my mom. My grandmother every Saturday used to cook about 5 pies, and over the process of that, when rolling it out and putting it into the pie crust, there would always be a little trim here and there. So she'd get the extra trim together and form it into a ball, roll it out, a little butter, a little cinnamon sugar, and then finally toss it in the oven, and this would be the finished product. This was always what the kids went for, but the adults went for the pie, and then through the generations, my mom now makes it, and now we're gonna make it. What you're going to see, what we're going to post, is the very, very rough beginnings. You're going to see a lot of sugar, a lot of butter, a lot of things that are unhealthy for you. When we get back to Los Angeles, we'll tweak the recipe a little bit and we'll post it. But the initial cooking just turned out to be too hysterical to not post.
You know, because
Why don't you get video going on that of her rolling one out?
No, you're going to roll it out.
Okay, and we'll bicker back and forth. I have 2 here though. Are we making 2?
Why not? You have it for a couple of days.
Okay. Are you videoing? Okay. So here we go. What are we doing, Karen?
No. We gotta mix the sugar combination.
What's the
sugar?
sugar?
Make 2?
Yeah. Sure.
I gotta eyeball it, and then I'll tell you what the measurement is. We'll get it to the nearest measurement.
See, this is exactly what the problem is of cooking with your parents. So here we have 2 softball, or I'm sorry, baseball-sized doughs, which is just dough. It's just flour, Crisco, and salt, in ratios that you can find on the website.
It's 1/3 of a cup for each one. It's 1/3 of a cup of sugar.
1/3 of a cup of sugar, and how much cinnamon?
No, we're gonna get to that.
Not exactly Rachel right over here.
Hey, you know, I just eyeball it, but you know what? You want it specific? You got it specific. I would guess for everything. We're doing 2, so.
No.
We're doing 2. Well, we only have the sugar here for 1.
I'm not part of this show.
It's 2/3 of a cup.
So 1/3 of a cup and 1/3 of a cup per one, and probably what, about a tablespoon of cinnamon? Are you use the oven preheated? This is what we're working with.
425.
Maybe this is why mine always don't come out so great, because I'm doing things like, you know, the way that you think about doing things, and instead it should be sitting. This isn't cold. Is that a problem?
Nope. A teaspoon and a half for each 1/3 of a cup. How's that?
Okay.
Or 1/2 tablespoon, if you prefer that measurement.
1/2 tablespoon. So we've got a tablespoon in there.
We do.
For 2.
Right.
You just throw that around with a fork?
Here, I'll give you a
Give
fork.
it a little hi there, hello.
Hello there, hello.
Oh, so it's gay pie crust now?
And I need what I come in here to get.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yep.
Real butter. Salted or unsalted?
It can be either, but I like salted personally.
Is that salted?
Yes.
Okay, so salted butter because you know what?
And it should be.
When in Rome.
It shouldn't be as soft as this, Devin, but it shouldn't be frozen either. Okay. Out of the refrigerator butter.
Out of the refrigerator butter.
But not out room temp. Like that's too soft.
Okay.
Because when you cook that, it's just going to run right out of it.
As opposed to what we want to do, which is
We want
flake
it
it in, like almost fry it a little bit, right?
No, yeah, but we want it to be hard when it goes in so that it melts slowly.
I have no comment for that. Hard when it goes in.
Hard when it goes in, guys. You got that?
I thought we were trying to make some...
Yeah, you want to see the cinnamon next to it?
No.
And the sugar?
Okay, so now what are we doing?
Okay, now.
Now we need to roll it out.
I need 2 cameras.
This is the fun part.
Wait, whoa. How much you dusting with here?
I'll show you.
How much?
A
You
handful.
have to dust your whole board.
Like liberally?
Yes, because you don't want it
Like
to
pro-gay
stick.
marriage dusting.
Okay? I'm going to show you.
Show me.
He's going to know it's not his hands.
That's okay. We're
So
cooking with Mama.
you keep sweeping it underneath, okay?
You don't need to dust the rolling pin?
It's marble.
Okay, but if you don't have if you have a wooden rolling pin, do we need to dust
No,
it?
no. As long as you keep flipping this, because see, it'll get dusted on the top. Keep going.
Whoa, there's some heft here.
And you want to make sure you get all the edges out evenly. There you go.
And we're
Pick it
gonna
up,
flip
flip
it.
it. Yep.
All right, we're gonna
There you
give it a
go.
little,
Keep it going.
give it a little love.
Give it a little love. You got it.
Oh, I like this. You don't even have to push down with this rolling
Nope.
pin. Where'd you get this rolling pin, Mom?
Actually, you know who's selling them at half price? It used to be the cooking store in Orleans. Is now a beer and wine. So they were selling all their kitchen stuff at half price.
Fire sale. Everything must go.
Keep going. Thinner than that. Now you want to make it round, so you want to kind of move this one. You can do that. No, not with your hands, with the rolling pin. Watch.
Make it nice,
See?
Devin. Make it nice.
You can make it round with
nice
the rolling.
for your
See how you
mother.
got a thick edge here?
Yeah.
You want to get those out, and that's what'll help make it round.
Now, is there anything else we need to be paying attention to while we're doing
Nope.
this?
You can just keep flipping it.
Keep flipping, but how do you?
You
Just
pick it
keep
up.
flipping.
Oh, you won't lose it. You can add more flour if you want.
What
You want to
do
put
I
a little
need
more
to
on the
add?
top. You probably need a little more on the top.
A little Big Y all-purpose flour.
Yeah. Cheaper, better.
Don't cheaper the better.
Is
Got
this?
some thick here, so we'll
Yeah.
just do that.
Because think about the origin of this. Back in the day when they didn't have all the fancy salts and the fancy sugars and your fancy cinnamons and your fancy
My
flour.
mother used to make this, and my grandmother made
a lot
it
of
from
fancies.
when they made pie crust.
This
and
is
they
from a
trimmed the
simpler
edges,
time, folks.
They would save all the edges, and that's what they made roll up with. But my guys never ate pie. Okay, you ready? One more time. Careful you don't tear it.
Oh, boom! Tough Actington act.
Now, you're only going to use half of this.
Yeah, because we're making two.
I'll start you, and then you're going to finish it.
That's just cinnamon and sugar, just a reminder. It's a third, 2/3 of a cup. How much?
A third of a cup.
A third
of
of a
sugar
cup and a
a
tablespoon.
A half a tablespoon of
Okay,
cinnamon.
so it's, well,
Use nutmeg.
it smells like love. Well, I suppose you could use nutmeg
don't
if you
touch
wanted
it.
it to be slightly
No,
pretentious.
you don't want nutmeg.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Now, see, I know this. If you put too much sugar in, it's going to boil out the side.
And that's okay.
No, it's not okay. That's not how Mama makes it. You don't make it that way.
Yes,
you don't.
I do.
You don't know. I've never had it boil out the
Notice
side for
I
you.
have one edge here.
Just one edge.
Right. 'Cause
About a
I'm gonna-
half.
You're going to roll it towards me. And as Olivia will tell you, the trick is in the water. Okay?
The trick is in the water.
Now, what you want to do is,
If my 4.5-year-old niece knows that, then I suppose I better.
the trick is this.
Well, whoa, whoa, whoa. Again, how much butter are we putting on here?
We are going to put on about a half a stick.
Okay.
So this is what you got for this one.
That's not a half a stick.
This is a half a stick.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No. Get that on video. That's a half a stick. Try again.
It's about a half a stick.
Yeah, this is the problem. I'm telling you. I want to make this so that people can actually make
Okay,
it. And we
here.
have to give proper measurements. Okay, the other thing is you cannot use store-bought pie crust with this. That's what I'm told. And I've tried to do it with store-bought pie crust. And it doesn't work. It doesn't have the...
The thinner you cut your strips of butter, the easier it will roll.
What kind of knife? Is that what you're asking? It's a
paring
it's
knife.
just a knife. A knife.
It's a kniffy.
And as you can see, the butter isn't soft like she said. It's out of the fridge. So luckily you don't have to plan ahead.
Nope. But you can't use frozen butter. It tears the pie crust, okay?
And this is not an everyday recipe, as you can tell by the number and the amount of butter and sugar and white flour we have in it. This is a special occasion. This is a Thanksgiving. This is an Easter. It's a Christmas. It's a birthday. It's a christening. This isn't a Tuesday night when you're bored like it is when we are here.
Yeah, but it's...
Oh, it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
worth the 3 miles you're going to have to run to make up for the small little piece that you eat. And it's better than an Edmonds Danish because
And
it's made with
according
love.
to your brother, the best way to eat it after it's cooled, if you can't get it when it's hot, nuke it for a minute and put ice cream with it.
Nuke it means put it in the microwave. Yeah.
Now, you got to start rolling towards this edge. This is going to be the finish.
How tightly am I doing this? You got to start rolling, and then she just does it.
And you want to tuck the butters in as you go.
What did you preheat the oven to?
4 1/4.
4 1/4.
Now you can keep going.
And we're doing it nice and tight.
Nice and tight.
Get it right, get it tight.
Get it right, get it tight.
It's like a burrito. It's going to look like a lumpy mess, but it'll smooth out in the oven.
Yes, it will.
Oh, you got to bake it in a half moon
Okay,
shape.
stop right there. No, because now you need to take this water and wet this edge.
Is it cold?
It's lukewarm right out of the faucet.
Right out of the tap.
Liberal,
Liberal.
because that's what glues it shut.
No egg wash.
No egg wash. No, nothing like that.
Liberal.
Now roll it over it.
Is that enough?
Yep, keep
That
going
liberal
all the
enough?
way. Keep going. Oh, you got a hole. That's okay. You can just overlap it. See when you get a hole?
Okay. Now what?
And we're gonna put the hole on the bottom. You're ready to cook it. That's all there is to it.
Okay, but what about the edges?
Just
You don't
like
need to
that.
push them down or anything?
No.
Could you, if you wanted
Yes,
to, dust it
you
with a
can
little
do
bit of
this.
cinnamon sugar?
No, you could do this. You could.
You can close it?
Yep.
How long are we baking this for?
10 minutes.
You just made that up.
Yes, I did.
You have no idea if that's how long it takes.
Cook till it's brown.
Is it preheated?
Yes. Let's give it 10 minutes.
Reason why this recipe is going to die with her. Okay, so we're ready to cut this. This is the first one that
Cut it in threes. You guys go however you each want one.
I think more than we'd like to get more than 3 servings out
Okay.
of this. The end is the throwaway piece, unless you're
No, it's not. It's
unless
the
you're
best
my
part.
dad.
Yes.
I like the end.
Okay, so this is still really, really hot.
Yeah,
Do you have a chef's knife where we can just go straight down and? So, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the layers and the deliciousness of all of it coming
I don't.
together. Okay.
You want a little dish for that?
And then just go right down here,
Just slide it.
very carefully, because you don't want to bust up the crust. Again. Voila.
Not
See
hard,
that?
is it, Devin?
See that? Well, I mean, you've changed the recipe 15 times since we started, so.
Well, you're the one who wanted me to have exact measurements.
Well, that's what a
Well,
recipe is, Mother.
I understand that, but when the recipe's in my head and I can do it from feel,
Which is
then
exactly
it's
why
going to take me a couple of times before I get it right.
Which is fine.
Then don't pick on me.
Well, I'm just saying that was the purpose. You said you were going to teach me. Oh, look, and see, as you get into the middle,
It gets really good and juicy and buttery.
and it looks a little bit like it's like undercooked, but it's not. It's just when this cools down, this is going to be really, really tender inside, which is obviously what you're going for. Okay,
You want a
so
plate for that?
there we go. A little bit of vanilla ice cream, and I suppose you could maybe a little powdered sugar over the top if you wanted to be like.
You need more sugar?
Well, yeah, you don't need more sugar. That's a valid point. But there you go, and that's roll up from Grandma Fitzgerald down to Karen McIver down to I just spit out bacon. Mm-hmm.